RVA Katana in Richmond, Virginia. I am at home. We were live earlier from the shop, but it's nighttime. Scott is teaching class there. Actually, I guess Scott's class is probably over now. And I am here ready to answer any questions you might have that I could hopefully answer about swords in general, history, steels, how to choose a sword. Always happy to answer any questions about that. And if you are not inclined to ask questions, I can always stand here and show you things until you get bored. Hey, Goblin Ninja. Hey, Triplet, yeah, at home right now. Hey, Voodoo. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, I'm actually kind of cold in here. I should have brought a jacket. It's kind of chilly. Hey, Drew. All good over here. Hey, YR Physical on YouTube. And hey, Vorteca. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining in. Genji, hey. I guess all of you who are the regulars and are greeting me have seen everything that's in this room, so there's nothing particularly interesting. I can't seem to get on the Discord server. Try the RVA Katana from there. I'm just doing a search that way. And if all else fails, send me a message and I can send you a link. Talk with you on Sunday. Hey, Jesse, for that sword, I'd rather you wait until January 1st for tax purposes. Let's just say that. So lots of swords. Yeah, I don't have a lot of swords. I don't have a lot of, ooh, okay, Steve. Let's see. But anyway, sorry, I got derailed here. So Steve wants to see, apparently he wants to buy this baby, which is the Katsuye. I was having a hard time deciding whether or not I wanted to part with this. I really like this one because I like long curved swords. And this one, I believe, is 80 to 82 centimeters in blade length. So very long and also very curved. I put it on my midsection. This is like the most curved sword that I've ever seen in terms of an antique Japanese sword. And it's also huge. It's a very pretty blade. And so apparently Steve wants it. It has a pretty Hamon as well. I don't know how well you can see it on the film here, but Steve, I'll take some video of it later so you can see a little bit more about this. But once again, this is about 600 years old. And once again, made by the Kashu school, which was based out of Kaga, Japan, which is in modern day Ishikawa. This is a signed sword. It does have a signature on the katana side. It looks like a tachi. I really enjoyed this sword because it is signed on the katana side. And what I mean by that is that tachi were worn blade down and the signature faced out. Katana were worn blade up, edge up, and the signature was out. And the signature is actually on the katana side. So it's interesting that this is very much shaped like a tachi, but it is a katana. So I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, moving right along. Let's see. I'm actually a big fan of the Shirasaya katana. So Genji, a Shirasaya, is not really a functional. You don't use it to fight with. It's not a battle mount. It's not sturdy enough because this type of handle, the tsuka, is there. It's really thick and bulky. And it's not reinforced. So if you try to hit something with it, with a sword, if you try to hit someone, if you try to use the sword and you actually impact it against something, it could very well split. So these are meant to protect the sword. They're not a functional, battle functional sword. Let's see, that's a really big knife. Yes, it is. Let's see what else we have here. Hey, Jill. And hey, Ryan. I wonder if that blade was made for a tall dude as a sidearm meant for his side. It's really interesting because I've been reading, and apparently there were some people who did sign their tachi on the opposite side. So I guess it's possible that this was still meant to be a tachi. This is once again made around 1400 AD. It's about 600 years old, and so at that time you still do see people mounted on horseback wearing swords. So it is interesting that way. This is, by the way, this is certified as a katana by the MBTHK. So was it a tachi or was it a katana? Based on the signature, it's a katana. Looking at the size and shape, it is a tachi. Would one kill me to do a sayagaki on that one too? Good for you, Steve, because I was going to pay for her to do it for myself. But since you're going to get it, but I don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, we'll make that happen. Let's see. John, what type of class should I look into to use my new sword? Basically, I would look in your area and see if you have any Iaido or Kenjutsu classes. To start with that. And if not, join our Discord, and Scott teaches a class on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I like the video about the saya grip on the blade. The saya grip on the blade. I'm not sure which one that is. Why are physical? So anyway, yeah, I guess Steve will be the proud new owner of this sword. I was very hesitant, but I have a huge tax bill coming up, and this is inventory, and so I have to pay tax on it. So I'd rather pay tax on a profit on it rather than the inventory cost of it. So yeah, I was very hesitant. I wasn't sure if I mean, once again, this is the most, look how curved that thing is. And I want to compare this. I'll show you. This is compared to my Hoju Tachi, and I'm going to put them side by side, and you can see just how much more curved the katana is. The kashu katana is. This is already very curved. This is a very curved sword, and so it is pretty interesting to see just the difference in there. Very similar in length as well. It's interesting. I originally got this sword for basically as inventory to sell, but then I liked it so much I kind of kept it all this time. It was just sort of telling people, yeah, I'd sell it, but I really wasn't trying that hard. So anyway, do you have any ninja toes mounted behind you? I do not, Dan and Chris. I have ninja toe at the shop, but not here. Ryan Carr, can you tell me more about the top sword on the long display in the back when you get a chance? Sure, I'll do that in a moment here. It was the video discussion about what are the different price points to look for in a saya. Oh, okay, cool. How do you spell Edo or whatever he said? Let me see. How do you spell Edo? Like Edo period? E-D-O. E-D-O. My Sue Bizan was also listed as a katana by the MPTHK, but its Oshigata was made in Tachi orientation. Oh, very cool, Movie Factory. Let's see. Very cool. Sue Bizan. Okay, so someone was asking about, this is the other sword that Steve has, but someone was asking about this one. This is a Ming, this is based on Ming dynasty style commander swords. And so one of the things you see in Ming swords is they have this braided handle here. I'm gonna hold it back so everyone can see it. And this one's really interesting. It's made of functional Damascus from Cloudhammer, meaning which it's actually very well welded together, very low chance of occlusion points. You can see as the light flashes across, it has these stripes in it. Going perpendicular to the blade, and then look at that tip. That tip is just mean. So this is one of my favorite swords, and technically I was supposed to send this out as a loaner to some people to cut with, but I ended up keeping it for myself. Anyway, let's see. Can you let's see. Hey Jill, didn't see you sneak up. Jill's in ninja mode right now. Have you Yoshindo Yoshikara? I assume you mean Yoshihara Yoshindo. No, I do not. Hey, Mara, always great to have you here. Let's see. The class. I was asking how to spell the class. Edo. So, Kenjutsu? Iaido. Sorry, Iaido. I-A-I-D-O. I-A-I-D-O. Iaido. Yeah. This is like we're in the cheers moment where all the regulars are greeting each other. This is like probably my favorite time. I just love the community we have surrounding swords. Let's see. Should I bow before entering this dojo? I took my shoes off already. Well, this isn't a dojo, and I don't bow before entering the room. Technically, I try to bow before I take my Nihonto out. Selling, Joey Barge not selling this one, but we are a sword shop in Richmond, Virginia, and we have lots of swords on sale. Go to RVA Katana at gmail.com. Do you practice any Iaido or sword martial arts? I've been very bad about it, but I am taking Kenjutsu with Scott. And, I've been having a lot of foot problems lately, so I haven't been taking the Kenjutsu. I have learned Chinese Jian, which is a one-handed straight sword. And my best, actually I can't say that. My best weapon is Wing Chun butterfly knives. Probably the most I know about weapons is Wing Chun butterfly knives, butterfly swords. But in terms of practical use, that's probably my least skilled. So I haven't done it enough. I kind of know I know a lot about Wing Chun butterfly swords, but not actually, I don't practice them as much as I should. Let's see. Any plans on getting different anime swords in the future? Yeah, we actually got a bunch of new ones too, Drew, from Bleach, and we're trying to get more and more. We just don't have a whole lot. Can see the blade. Which blade did you want to see, Daniel? Let's see. I have an older katana where the saya seems really tight because it is a pain to draw the blade from it. Any advice? I would actually, is it always the case, Wade? Because sometimes weather can affect that. Like if you keep it at a dry or humid place, you sometimes get a swelling or a contraction of the wood, and so that might affect it. So it's really hard to say. That is unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear, but I have been considering trying kendo. What are your thoughts on that? I think kendo is great stuff. You know, basically, Scott is my teacher, and he doesn't think very highly of kendo, but I'm a big fan of kendo. I think that anything where you go into competitive sparring, where someone's really trying to hit you and you're really trying to hit them, is going to build a lot of practical experience. It helps get the idea of fear. I mean, one of the things for me was full contact sparring. When I started full contact sparring, it just sort of changed my view on martial arts completely. So yeah, I have high respect for that. Ichigo sword, we do have it. I just don't have it here. Did you mean the sword on top, Dan? Let's see. Yeah, you can stop saying Ichigo sword. We heard you the first time. I don't have it here, but we do have them in the shop. Only made yellow belt. I could go back, but halfway through writing this, I couldn't think of an excuse. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. I think I did show that blade, but I will show it again. This is what's also really cool about this is that it has it has a square profile, rectangular profile saya sheath. So that's kind of cool. Check out the double fullers. Look how the fullers start on the blade, and then as it goes down, one ends in a triangle right there, and then the other one goes all the way to the tip. So yeah, I really like this one. It is a functional Damascus sword. Pretty cool pattern there. I like watching kendo. It reminds me of when I fenced in college. I didn't know you fenced. That's cool. I think I did know you fenced, actually. Hey, Flip Flip. Is there a difference between Phoenix Arms and Legacy Nodachi? I'm on your store. Yeah, we physical. The Phoenix Arms is a spring steel 65 MN, and it's also about 2 inches shorter than the other one, which is a folded 1095 with clay tempering. If you're going to be using your sword to cut with, I recommend the spring steel, especially with the Nodachi, until you get used to it. Once you start getting into clay tempering, then the blade, you do risk bending and stuff with a clay tempered blade. It doesn't matter where you get it from. That's just the nature of clay tempering. Do you have the Sekiro Shadows Tachi there, and can you show it? I don't have it here. It's at the shop. Actually, I have one in the box downstairs, but it's downstairs. Do you have, let's see, got a pink katana? We do have a pink katana. Go to our website, rvakatana.com, and look for pink. I don't have them here. We have several versions of them, but I have them in shop. I don't. So when I'm live at the shop, you can always ask then. I feel bad for anyone who breaks into your house. They have to worry more about my gun than my swords, I think. Gosh, what about the art on the wall? Do you know if different time periods show different styles? Yeah, but this is a particular ukiyo-e style, which was popular in the 1800s. However, if you look carefully, this is Star Wars themed. So this is a modern version. It's made by Ukiyo Pop. So anyway, let's see. Okay, I've had fun the past 2.5 years, says Jay Hancock. Okay. John, need your opinion on solving the lateral movement of my tsuba. I see some people using JB weld to fill in some space on the side. I also heard traditionally they use a nail setter and hammer the corners. Yes, that is one way that some people will do it. You could also solder it in. The other thing you can do is if you just have more tension between the habaki and the fuchi, that'll squeeze it a little more shut, and you can use dental floss between. It's a really quick fix. The dental floss between the tsuba and the seppa and the kashira. So that's just a way to deal with that for taka. Let's see, homie, my sheet doing really like some of the kendo practices when it is a point-based sport and isn't realistic. It is very clear. You know, so it depends. You know, once again, it depends. You have to imagine that if you hit somebody with a sword in the head, it's going to do. You know, it's different from punching somebody in the face. If you hit somebody with a sword, there's going to be major damage happening. But anyway, once again, someone's trying to hit you. It's a big difference than going through forms. So that's just kind of my opinion on that. Oh, it's Katsuichi in the house. This channel loves you too, Roku. Let's see. Oh, I see what's going on here. The videos do no justice on how tall John actually is. Swords look somewhat small, but he's like 6'2". I'm not 6'2". I'm like 6 feet. How do you know this idea on the Kryptonite? Were you? Oh, were you? You were here. You were in the shop the other day. Yeah. Someone. I was holding like a really long sword, and someone's like says I was probably a miniature person. I'm like, no, that's just a big sword. Yeah. Which sword was historically utilized by the Japanese for circumcisions? I don't think they would use a sword for circumcision. Can we see Nagika's Blade MK3? We don't have one. May I see some of the older katana you have for sale? I don't have any for sale here. Okay, I have one for sale here, but there is some damage, which I'm waiting for an insurance claim on it. Hey, Misfit, long time no see. What do you look for in a good sword? Wow, a good sword to cut with, a good sword to practice with, a good sword to collect. What are you going to use your sword for? This sword is for sale. $9,500. It is a Tokubetsu Hozo, meaning which is especially worthy of preservation. It's about 350 years old. It's also very long. This is the longest sword that I currently have in my possession in terms of an antique sword. At I think this is 84.5 centimeters, which is about 34 inches long blade length. This is a very long sword. It's also very beautiful. Check out the Hamon line on this guy. I should say once it's repaired, it'll be 9,500. Right now, we'll probably just do like 9,000 if someone wants it as is. So I'm quite disappointed that the postal system effed this up. Let's see. Have you ever thought about bringing size into your sword? Probably not. Hey, Scottuichi in the house. I was just talking about my teacher, Scottuichi, and here he is on TikTok. Let's see. For practice. So are you practicing cutting or are you practicing drawing? I love your collection. I'm a Christian who saw your video on Christian Samurai. Oh, awesome. I don't know if you saw that I didn't realize we had it, but we do have one of those swords with hidden Christian symbols in our shop. So I just posted a new video about half an hour ago. One of my sword friends pointed it out because he saw the video and he's like, actually, you know what? You have this one. And I'm like, oh wow! And he showed me all these links and I was like, wow, we really do have one. So that was pretty cool. Almost a Masamune, a Masamune, like Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. Oh, I thought you meant Masamune as in the famous swordsmith Masamune. Let's see. How can I order one? Go to our website, RVA Katana, at rvakatana.com. rvakatana.com. Practice cutting. If you are practicing cutting, then if you're a beginner, start with the Moritaka Vortex on our website. Look up the Vortex, and it's a very good beginner sword. It has what you want in terms of a tight wrap. It fits in the scabbard really well. It's an excellent cutter, plus it's spring steel. I don't have any antique Christian swords. I use bamboo. Do you guys sell fittings or custom fitting? We don't make custom fittings, but we recommend Zeist Armories for custom fittings. Do you post a cleaning video yet? Yes, I did post it. It is on both here on TikTok and also on YouTube. Like Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. Okay, I'm sorry, Widget. Yeah, you're talking about a big Nodachi, and we do have one from Cloudhammer. If you go to our website, cloudhammerforge.com, you will see it there. I used to keep it in the house, but then we only have 2 left, so I had to move one back. Let's see. What kind of katana is that? This is an Edo period, early Edo period katana. It was made, I think, in 1650s, and it is very long. I'm going to show you compare. This is a modern day production sword. This is the kind of sword that we sell, but you can see lengthwise how much longer this sword is than this sword. Let's see if you can tell, but. I have a thing for big swords. I'm compensating for something I know. This is also what's called a Tokubetsu Hozo. That blue dragon with the etched blade you did looks really cool. I don't think I did a video of that one, but it's a new one and it is really cool looking one. Where can I get one? Go to our website, rvakatana.com. Do I sign them? No. You'd want the swordsmith to sign them, not me. What are your thoughts on katana being used to block strikes blade to blade? Well, you would not want to do that. A blade is, if that's what happens, it happens. But basically, there is this thicker. Let me actually get a sword that does not have. Let me see. I'm going to go pull one of Steve's swords out now. So you can see right here that there is a ridge line, and that is actually the widest point of the katana. And most of the techniques that that are used. So the other thing, at least what Scott teaches, is that you don't block, but that you move and you cover just in case you make contact. But they're designed to receive the blows along the shinogi line, which is that thick point ridge right along the side of the blade. So you do not want to block blade on blade. You're just going to chip your blade or get, you're going to chip blades that way. It's not preferable. Let's see. Sakabato here. I don't have it here. It's at the shop. The sign, yeah, some of them are signed, like the Moritaka swords are signed. Okay, they're laser engraved, signed in the Tang. And then some of our antiques are signed as well. Hey, Scooby Stearns. Best sword, cheapest price for performance. Moritaka Vortex, VORTEX, or the Phoenix Arms 65mm swords. You got wood ones for practice. We like wooden, like we do have some wood ones, yes, let's just say that. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the information contact. Sure thing, Ree. That sword is beautiful. This is a beautiful sword. This is, it's amazing what great shape this sword was in. I basically gave Steve a price based upon what I paid for it. But then when I actually examined the sword in depth, I probably could have charged $2,000 more to somebody else because it's in such beautiful shape. So it's more to deflect than to block. Yeah, there are times you will find like people are engaged, locked together, but it's not smashing on each other. Yeah, but it's and oftentimes, again, and this is the same in other martial arts I've trained, is that you try to avoid the attack and then you have something to cover. Like as a Wing Chun person, we don't say I'm going to see an attack and block it. We say I'm open here and I'm going to cover it. So cover the open space because you sort of assume attacks are going to come through there. The other thing about, well, anyway, I won't go there. Hey, I can't see who you are. Oh, Tiger. Has anyone tried making Nodachi in S5? Just curious. Yeah, Cloudhammer has made S5 Nodachi before. It's been a hot minute since they've done it. Oh. Cloudhammer, we actually, yeah, they don't have any in stock, but they did have it in the past. Best katana for $1,000 to $1,500. Trey Ray, best katana for display in terms of beauty, best katana in terms of durability? What are you looking for? Thank you so much for your knowledge. I try, Ryan. And I'm not always right. Let's just point that out. There are some people who will always try to be right about everything, but that's not me. I try to learn from my mistakes as much as possible. Someone was asking about Nodachi, and this is my wall of Nodachi over here. I have 2 Nodachi. I used to have more Nodachi up here, but some of them sold. We did have a Cloudhammer, like a straight sword that was 35 inches long, blade length. Durability and use. Trey Ray, then our S5 shock steel swords, you're only going to be paying about $700 for that. So we don't have anything. Once you get to the $1,000 range, you're not really looking at performance as much as beauty. For a good performing sword, all you really need for durability is this S5 shock steel sword. You could probably get by with if your budget was lower, a 9260 spring steel or a 51 CRV spring steel sword for much less. I mean, oftentimes when you see katana go up in prices, it's usually because it has a really pretty polish, that there's like it's folded steel. There are all these things that go into making an expensive sword. And it's not usually the durability aspect of it. The profile of the sword, sometimes you have like standard profile or sometimes Niku profile. That kind of polishing job costs a little bit more. So you'll pay a little bit more for that. So what's the difference between Nodachi and Odachi besides blade length? There's no difference in blade length, actually. Nodachi, Odachi are just interchangeable terms for the same thing. Can I see the other sword you showed again? Which sword, Nero? I've showed a few. Are they battle ready? Yes, they are full tang and sharp. Favorite anime sword, anime to watch? I guess my favorite would be Rengoku sword, and my favorite anime to watch so far. I'm not really an anime person, but Demon Slayer was a lot of fun. John, is this Wakazashi Nihonto sharp? Antique Nihonto Wakazashi Mume Edo period 1250. I'm not sure for Tekka which one that is because we have a couple of Edo Wakazashi, but they're all sharp. There are none that are dull. What should I say? They are sharp, not necessarily razor sharp. I've done Tai Chi also. It's been a long time. Cool deal. Hey, Alfarius, what are we showing off today? Nothing new. Nothing new. I'm at home right now. On a side question, what has been the best book you have read this year? I've read a lot of good books. Yes, we can ship to Canada. It is a little bit pricey. What is the most expensive sword do I have at home? This one at the top is $15,000. If you've ever seen Rurouni Kenshin, but do you have a sword with the blade on the inside? Yes, that's called a sakabato. If you go to our website, rvakatana.com, and look up Rurouni Kenshin, you will see that on sale. The Edo period one, Nero. What did we talk about the Edo period one, Nero? Can I see the sword you showed? The Edo period sword. Oh, okay. This is the Edo period sword here. This is a Tokubetsu Hozon, especially worthy of preservation. It's extra long at 84.5 centimeters. It has a gorgeous hamon. The blade is super healthy, which is common with Edo period swords. Really pretty hamon on it. What's the strongest metal you can use for katana? Well, the strongest metal that we use is S5 shock steel. Yeah, that's not necessarily the strongest, but it's the strongest that we use, and it is pretty darn strong. Yeah, this one I'm waiting to get. I have an insurance claim because it was damaged in transit from Japan, and so the saya has a crack in it, and I'm trying to get insurance to cover the repair of it. But I mean, I'm willing to sell it for like, the asking price is $9,500 because it is a 300 and actually close to 400-year-old sword that's extra long and in excellent shape. What is the name on that one? This one is Nobusada. Is the smith? Wait, Nobusada? I'm trying to remember which smith it is. It's been a hot minute. It's signed. I guess I could pop the Mikugi out and look, but it is a signed sword. I believe it is Nobusada. Any unboxing coming up? Yes, we should be getting. I think we're getting some cloud hammers tomorrow, and so we'll be unboxing either tomorrow evening or Saturday morning, or sorry, Friday afternoon. I also actually got a bunch of swords from Heaven, or not Heaven and Earth, but from Heaven and Earth today. So some new ones. There are so many that's so cool. Thank you. I think so too. Let's see. Tungsten is very strong, but it's brittle, and a sword would snap or shatter if it was made of tungsten. I wouldn't know, actually. I've always thought tungsten strengthened it, but it all also depended on how the alloy amount. Are the Jan you have battle and cut ready? It depends on which ones. The cloud hammer ones definitely are. One of the things you run in with most of the Jan made in China is that the tangs are a little on the narrow side. And so they are not as tough for cutting as some of the other ones. But cloud hammers are definitely quote unquote battle ready. Let's see. What is your favorite sword and do you own it? I'd have to think about that. Let's say this. My favorite sword that I own is not my favorite sword that I could own, that I would ever want. But this is one of my favorite swords that I own. It is a 650 to 800-year-old tachi, very long. So yeah. Do you have any videos about sharpening swords? I have one on a quick and dirty sharpening. So this is not the way you'd want to sharpen an antique sword for sure, but it's something you could do with a modern sword on a pinch. And we use these ceramic sharpeners here. So how did you get that sword? I won it in an auction. I've never watched Highlander. Let's see. How did you get that? Oh, let's see. What sword would you recommend for a first-time buy? It depends on what you're looking for in a sword and what your budget is. There are a lot of things that can contribute to that. Yeah, skip the swords with the rat tangs. Personal experience, it ends painfully. Yeah, that's no fun. I would say that most of the Longtran swords are not rat tail. That is, when I said they're skinny, they're not rat tail skinny. Rat tail tangs are usually welded on, but they're full tang. They're just not a really super buff tang. Let's see. This sword in my hand is anywhere from 650 to 800 years old. We do sell tatami. Just order the redeeming light. Awesome, Dan the man. I'll get that shipped out to you hopefully tomorrow. Vortex swords are great for first timers. Yeah, for use if you're looking to cut. So when people ask what is the best sword for a first time, I was like, how much money do you want to spend? What do you plan on doing with the sword? And I try to give you, your best option. And then at a certain point, it becomes about what do you like in a sword, what kind of colors and stuff. Did you say 680 years old? No, this is at least 650 years old and possibly as much as 800 years old. Sometimes, if I don't think about it, I'm not really, it's whatever. But when I stop and think about just how old this blade is, and when we say that, we're not talking about the saya. This is the shida saya to protect it, but the blade inside. This is made by the Hoju school. And I'm getting another Hoju school sword pretty soon too. I'm pretty excited about it. It's the one I've been waiting for. It has a giant kisaki. Yeah. How long have you had this page? About a year and change, maybe 2 years. Probably about 2 years. Excuse me, 2 years. The first year was pretty slow going, and then all of a sudden, we had this one video of a customer in our shop unboxing a sword, and he just was freaking out about it. And that one got like 1.8 million views, and all of a sudden we were doing great. Open Shirasaya. You're doing great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my second favorite sword, I like things that are old. That is, at least swords. And this one is my next favorite sword. It is a slender tachi. And so it's something a little bit different. I mean, it's probably hard for you to tell, but the blade is very, very narrow, only about an inch wide. Unboxing videos are fun. I did those when I had my Pew Pew store. Cool deal. This like little kisaki, I'm going to put my finger up. I'm going to put my hand behind it so you can just see how small that little kisaki is. So this is a pretty amazing specimen of a sword. I'm going to get this evaluated next year at the Orlando Sword Show to find out who it is, or who made it. But basically, the dealer who I bought it from, Ray Singer, said that it is anywhere from 700 to 1,000 years old, which I think is pretty amazing. TikTok brought me here and made me buy. Thank you, RVA Katana. Awesome, Noah. Glad to hear that. Oh, Noah! I hope you're loving that S5 shock steel sword. Noah got the Black Lotus from us. The non-black, full black. Hey, Chad. What is the longest sword I own? The longest sword I own currently is this one that I've been showing today. Actually, I take it back. This is the longest sword I own. This is a Cloudhammer Nodachi at 39-inch blade length. We have one in the shop that's even longer at 47 inches, but this is the longest one that I own. Wonder how many hands that's passed through over the centuries. I think about that too sometimes, Alfarius. Let's see. Black Lotus, best buy ever. Awesome. Hope you're enjoying it. Buy a new sword for your birthday? No. Chad, I've kind of lost the joy of getting new swords. I think that selling swords has made me kind of cynical towards them. And so I think I need to have something really special in order to really get me excited about it. So as is, I've bought no new Nihonto for 2 months, and man, the income from the shop has just shot up. Let's see. Can you show the blade? Yeah, I can show this blade. 39 inches. You can see that it has a 3-color polish, really gorgeous hamon to it. Polish brings out the hamon. This is what's called 3-color polished. The edge is, every area has a little bit of different shade. I bought a new sword for John's birthday. Thank you, Steve. Yeah. I always hate putting this one back in because it's so long. I'm always worried about stabbing myself. What would you recommend for the first-time buyer that is looking for a blade for practice and cutting? Go for the Moritaka Vortex YMA Gaming. Moritaka Vortex is an excellent first-time cutter. Let's see. Is that one Gunto you have for sale? The one with the Imperial propaganda on it? I don't have one with Imperial propaganda. That you're thinking of the Mantetsu. I don't actually own one, but we do have one made of railway steel. What is your favorite sword that you have practiced? Favorite sword I've practiced with? That would be cutting practice. Then we're gonna go with my Motahara. This sword is so much fun to cut. It's like cutting in easy mode. It's so easy to cut with. So this is my favorite cutter. The oldest katana I have is I have 2 that are anywhere from 800 to 1,000 years old. Did samurai ever pair shields with katana? I do not think so. It was not common. Do you still have the Moritaka Vortex Iron Plum katana? Iron Plum? I don't think we have the Iron Plum anymore. Which sword is best for battle? I would say this one that I have is best of the ones I have. Do you guys sell nodachi? Yes, we do. Which one is your Chinese practice sword? Do you ever get swords that are actually used in battles by samurai? The one I am getting this week was used. It has battle damage, which is going to be kind of fun to see. And I probably had one. I think one that Steve bought might have had a battle scar as well. My practice sword, I tend to use wooden swords, Chad, but I also use this one because it has a little more mass. This is a Ming dynasty style sword. Very nice, very nimble. This one is the SX105V, but it's been dulled. So it's a little on the short side, but fine by me. Do you all still have the iron plum and stuff? I don't remember if can't think what the iron plum is, but I think we do. Is a slight bend along the spine acceptable? I'm not sure which you mean by the spine. Bends are generally not good. Is there World War II Japanese swords? I do have one here. This is in World War II fittings, but it is a Tamahagane family blade. The Maramune I got from Ray had several blade on mune cuts. That's right. I was actually thinking about getting that, Steve. What state is I shop in? It's in Virginia. Iron plum is the one that is dark purple with an all black scabbard. You know what? Yes, I think we have it. Sometimes it's called. It might have been purple cross. If it has like kind of a cross section, like a round tsubo with like crosses in it, that one would be the. Yeah, I think we do have that one. It should be. If you see it on our website, then we have it in stock, most likely. Thought you had one with something like Asia United or Asia under one rule. Yeah, that's Ishin Koa. So Koa Ishin. No, I did not have it. I would not be able to, as a person from Chinese descent whose father grew up during the war. There's no way I could own such a sword. I really wanted one just because of the type of steel. Are Shinwa katana any good? They're middling. They're nothing to write home about. They're not bad. They're generally, yeah, they're okay. Can I have one for free? Tempting. No. Let's see, John. Any holiday discount code I can use? Vorteca, no. We don't have any discount codes at the present moment. Though we are selling some of our SX105V for $50 off, so they're for $325 right now. Why does Gunto have bad juju? I mean, that's me. That's me. I mean, if you love Gunto, then you love Gunto. No judgment. Okay, there's possibly some judgment. But basically, the Gunto Japanese war swords, that is the World War II swords, they were not generally used for honorable combat. They were used to murder unarmed civilians. So, yeah. Did samurai use different types of steels? They used tamahagane. That was the basic thing. I mean, there are some people who used what's called nanbantetsu, which was a imported steel from, imported steel. So, yeah, there were some that were made of other types of steel, but by and large, it was tamahagane. What's the best quality brands for katanas you know of? Motohara is the best. The one on the floor stand there, that is a tachi fittings. It's actually the fittings for one of my other swords. What sort of samurai should I get that can cut through bone? Basically, any sword that we have can probably cut through raw bone. No sword will cut through cooked bone. For that, you want a cleaver. But actually, I take it back. Oh, a samurai sword. Never mind. I was going to say we have one sword, a Chinese sword in stock from Cloudhammer. That's super buff. Ryan asks, how much would it cost to put older traditional fittings on a Gunto? Probably about $2,000. Most unique sword? I'd have to think about that. Let's see. World War II is a sore spot for many other Asians, specifically Chinese and Koreans. Poor Korea, yeah. Do you arms ever get sore from cutting? Do my arms ever get sore from cutting? I've never done enough cutting. I've done a lot of cutting, but never enough. I think from practicing Wing Chun, my arms just don't get tired. So it takes a lot to tire my arms out. Like I hear about, like I always talk like people getting tired after doing a lot of cutting, and I'm like, my arms are tired, but that's just me. I'm just badass like that. If katana gets ordered online, how long does it take to arrive? It depends on where you live. We're in Virginia, and so if it's in the United States, no more than 5 days. But also depends. Like if you order on Friday afternoon, we're not going to send it out until possibly um, Tuesday morning. So because we're not in shop on Monday, and I may or may not go in during the weekend. So it really depends. Basically, if you order within, it depends. Basically, about no more than 5 days, but sometimes more. See any good movies lately? I watched Barbie the other day and I loved it. I watched it with my kids and it was hilarious. Uh, but also have been offered 10K for it. 10K for what? What did I miss? Um, let's see. How much? Let's see. What were we offered 10K for? I must have missed something. Let's see. Oops. What did I just do? The sword on the third slot, its sheath looks beautiful. The sword on the third slot. I have a lot of slots. Which third slot are we talking about? This is a cool tachi. I like this tachi here. This is a gendaito, a modern sword. When will you know from Cloudhammer if they have that silken green? I will ask again. Have you seen the movie called Seven Samurai a long time ago? I want to get my best friend a sword for his birthday. Any recommendations? What is your budget? Do you have any swords made from traditional Japanese steel? The one I'm holding in my hand is. I have a few antiques. We have a few antiques in shop. I have several antiques here. 300. Go to our website and look up Moritaka, 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 and you have a lot of great swords under $300, which would make a great gift. Moritaka. How much does one cost? It depends on what. There's a lot. I mean, a lot of factors go into a sword. The cheapest one we have is 70. The most expensive in the thousands. Someone was asking about unique swords. I have a meteor sword here. What other accessories do you have on our website? It's cleaning kits, stands, stuff like that. The one with the Japanese steel, this one is Japanese steel. This one is going for $32.50. What makes good swords? That a lot goes into a good sword. I mean, the wrap, the tightness of the wrap, the kind of steel, the geometry. Whoa, like the Saka made in TLA. Actually, we are getting one similar to that. That looks a lot like that one, but we don't have it right yet. Can you show the meteor sword? Yeah, I can do that. Let me just put this away. Live in South Carolina. South Carolina is pretty close by. It's basically 2 days away from us by UPS. I'm thinking about getting Kydex sheaths for my sword so I can be rough with my scabbards. Heck yeah, Serial. How do you know a sword is good? Oh, wow. There's a lot that goes into that. That's a very loaded question. Is it possible to buy separate parts in website? Not on our website. We don't really sell the parts. I just realized I have a Cloud Dragon here. I did not even see that there. Someone asked to see something, and now I'm drawing a blank as to what they wanted to see. Oh, the meteor sword. This one is made of 30% meteorite. So you can see here that it has gunk on it, but it has an interesting pattern in the Damascus. I want a really good quality katana for a decent price. What would you recommend? For the best bang for your buck for a good sword on our website is Moritaka, Moritaka, Moritaka. This one is $2,000. This is probably our most expensive non-antique that we have because there's meteor in it. We are also getting a Saka sword that will also go for 2,000 sword. It's also meteorite. John, who would be better option for a custom Dao in Sanmai, Cloudhammer or Phoenix Arms? Probably Phoenix Arms because Cloudhammer you'd be waiting 2 years or more. If time is not like if time is not what am I trying to say here? If you don't care about time, then if time is not a consideration, then Cloudhammer would make a better sword. Do you have different example of Koshire style, Korean style swords, and do you currently have any stock? We don't have any Korean styles in stock at the present moment. Yes, our meteor swords are for sale. I'm getting another one pretty soon from Cloudhammer, in fact. Let's see. How do one become a master in the art of swords? Practice and good teaching. Thank you, Opskin. Sorry, YouTube, lost track of the comments. Do the antiques on your website also come in shirasaya as well? Because I can see them in your shorts, but can't find them in your website. A lot of the ones in shorts are my personal antiques. There are some that have shirasaya, but most of them are in koshirai. Most of our customer base are not serious collectors. They're looking for a sword that looks like a sword and not like a collector item in a shirasaya. I just want one that's cool to have a sword. Yeah, darn straight. Is the meteorite on the core or the jacket? Sanmei construction. Yeah, it's jacket. Sanmai jacket for that one. This one is actually pattern welded, so it actually has it's a little bit different. It has meteorite iron. That's, they do layers and they fold it over and over again. So that's this one. But the other ones that we're getting for the Saka sword, that one is Sanmai with meteor Damascus on the jacket. Let's see. What that fly apart in kendo class? No, you would not use it in kendo class. You would kill somebody. I study online now. Cool. Let's see. What oils and tools would you recommend for maintenance of katana and jian? Choji oil is going to be really good, and then microfiber. All you really need is like a good machine oil and a microfiber cloth. That's all you really need. I wonder if you could get a Japanese smith to make a longsword guard for a katana. Well, the smiths don't make the parts, so you could get a katana, but then get a guard from somebody else. Does John's class have vids to watch? I can't be in the Discord. That's Scott's class. He doesn't have videos, but if you follow, we do clips here and there. Is wax or oil preferable for staving off rust on swords? Moritaka Midnight Fuji and Damascus Steel Oni a bit. I would just use oil for that, because with wax, it's going to cut. I mean, wax is a little bit more of a hassle. Wax is good for long-term display of a naked blade. Okay. Do you have like practice wooden swords? Yes. They're called bokken. But really, if you want a good bokken, go to ebogu.com. Let's see. How do you keep swords super sharp enough to cut a leaf? I mean, if you don't use your sword, it's not going to dull. And then when you use it, it's going to dull when you cut with it over time. I want to get to so I can do my friend. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, the practice swords. Yeah, go to ebogu.com. You have really good quality swords, but don't duel your friends with those. You're going to hurt yourselves. If you're going to duel yourselves, use a shinai, and even then, it's better to have protective equipment. I'm going to put this up. Can you use a knife whetstone to sharpen a katana? I mean, don't do it on an antique. On a new katana, sure, you could. You definitely could. On a new katana, don't do it on an antique. I mean, you can if it's yours, you can, but it's not necessarily good. Opinion on lightsabers. Wish I had one. I just looked up the Moritaka on your website. It's beautiful. You should have several. You have several choices under Moritaka. We have a lot of selections under Moritaka. It's just a really good value. Number one, highly functioning. They're all practitioner grade swords, and they are very beautiful. Alpha says, are the Moritaka done by Moritaka Hamono, the same person, company famous for cooking in kitchen? No. No, it's not. Moritaka, it's interesting. So there is a company, and there's a forge in China called Shangguanglong, and they've been around for hundreds of years. And there are several people in that family who have their own sword business. And so we do business with one of them. And because their last name is Mori, then we call it Moritaka, means the best Mori. And so it's kind of a joke, an inside joke between the two of us. Good evening from Washington State. Awesome, young squidling. Are there any European swords you want or that have ever caught your eye? Here's a Cloudhammer S5 hand-and-a-half sword. Very cool sword here. This one had an issue with it, so I'm waiting to get a replacement for it. So anyway, it had a construction which actually just happened here. So yeah, We also are getting a bunch of long swords. I believe we're getting a bunch of long swords in our next shipment, which would be good because I owe a lot of people those long swords. This is an arming sword. So we definitely have European swords. Craigmeister is the one I want. I kind of want a side sword. Those are kind of cool. Is it true displaying a katana blade down dulls it? No, most likely not. Probably going to buy a Moritaka for myself and my friend. Heck yeah, Mikey. What's nice about Chinese swords made in China? No debate if they are authentic Chinese swords. Ain't that the truth, Chad? Do you happen to have any European greatswords? We do. We have a European greatsword in shop, but not here. Did it come Blue-Eyed Samurai? We are getting a Blue-Eyed Samurai replica. Is L6 ever mono-tempered? Also, the Winter Sun is amazing. Love the way it handles. Awesome cereal. Let's see. Yeah, L6 is actually better when it's mono-tempered. L6 functions much better when it's mono-tempered. You oftentimes see a lot of them which are differentially hardened, but that tends to make the edge too brittle. The only person I would trust to make a differentially hardened L6 sword would be Howard Clark. Now, if you're only going to be cutting pool noodles or mats, you'll do fine. Is that a Ninjato in Shirasai I see? No, this is not a Ninjato. It's basically still a katana, but it's a straight katana. This one is about 400 plus years old, 400 to 450 years old, made by the Dotanuki family. It is very long at 81 centimeters, so about 30 some inches long. Thoughts on Citadel Ocean? That's a very nice sword. Very nice sword for the Citadel Ocean. If you want one, we can get Citadels from Cass Siberia for less than you find elsewhere. Do you have a Chinese broadsword? Yeah, I have several on the wall over there. Oh, wow, it's already 9:46. Where did the time go? I'm going to have to shut down in a few minutes. Oh my God, forgive me. I might buy that hand-and-a-half katana before a katana. So the hand-and-a-half is not for sale. We're waiting to get some back. Yeah, it's very rare. This is why I got it. It was just I've never gotten a straight Nihonto, so this is one that I got. It's pretty cool. Dotanuki. It is a wide blade. The Ocean's Ito is colored by soaking it in tea. Hey, you know what? I soak my clothes in tea quite accidentally, and nobody adds value that way. If you had to carry one to protect myself, what would I choose? I would choose a gun. Let's see. How much is the Emma blade? 150. Let's see. What metal is the Moritaka? We have two types of Moritaka. One is 9260 spring steel, and the other is T10. So we have different ones. Actually, we have L6 as well from Moritaka. Can I find them on your site? Which one are you looking for, Himothy? Let's see. Okay, gotta shut down, but I'm gonna try to go live from the shop tomorrow, probably in the evening, or maybe around 5:30 p.m. or so. Any cool Wakizashi shop? Yes, we have Naginata style. The Citadel, I have to look and see. I don't even know if they have it in stock right now. Can you guys get the Hanwei Practical Special for cheaper? Yeah, we can. Alfari, send me a message and along with the best price that you found, and I'll see if I can match it or beat it. Okay, no room for four? No room tour? All right, good night, YouTube.